Hi, and welcome to my channel. We are going to talk about the hardest reading challenge you'll ever do. And Django says hi. Django is wearing his little purple sweater. He feels much better now with his shirt on, even though it's not cold outside, but he likes to be wearing clothes. Anyway, let me show you what the spreadsheet looks like. Everybody loves a spreadsheet. Okay, so I'm as far out of the way as I can get because I was trying to zoom out and show you like the whole thing, and this still doesn't do the whole thing. So let's just go back to the regular view. Okay, this is the bingo board for the hardest reading challenge you'll ever do. This is my August check-in. I'm halfway through the month of August right now, so I don't know when these check-ins will happen. I'm not planning them and like putting them on the calendar. I'm just going to shoot for roughly once a month to check in with the hardest reading challenge and see how it's going. The main things that I need to keep up with on a month-to-month basis are the new releases that come out every month, and then the seasonal reads, because I need to make sure those don't get lost somewhere. So the plan is to check in. Now, on our bingo board, you can see that I have finished two. Two of them are this color. We'll call this green. And then the purple ones are the ones that can be doubled up, and the white ones are the ones that are by themselves. Like you can't mix the white ones together. So that's what the colors mean, in case you're wondering. So I have done the read a 500 page book in one day. That's a 24-hour period. I did that. And I have done the read 3 books with protagonists whose names are people you know. It could also be your own name. So I have finished that one as well. Completing the A to Z challenge, we're going to look at them in the order that they are down here at the bottom. So as I scroll, we will look. Completing the A to Z challenge, I have literally only done B. Because what I wanted to do, you can see the rest of them are empty. Because what I wanted to do was read this series, Beaches, Bungalows, and Burglaries. Every one of them has 3 words that all start with the same letter. And I was like, oh, won't that be fun to read all of them? Well, they don't have A to Z, number one. Like, she's not written a book for every letter of the alphabet. So I'm thinking that I might go and change that rule that I've made for myself. It's not a rule, but the plan that I made for myself, which was to read all of those, I think I might take away that rule, and I can still read those books and count them for the A to Z, but then I can read other things as well and count them for A to Z. Then we have 3 or more blurbs on a book. So there are 4 things. You're going to read the first book, which I did, which was Yours Truly, and then you're going to read 3 books that have blurbs on, that the authors of those books have blurbed. So my book was Yours Truly by Abby Jimenez, and we have Allie Hazelwood blurb on the front, and then on the inside cover we have, not cover, but on the inside few pages, we have Emily Henry, Farrah Rochon, Casey McQuiston, and that's it. So I have Allie Hazelwood, which I've already read, Not in Love, from Allie Hazelwood. I'm about to read a Casey McQuiston, not my August pick, which is also Casey McQuiston, but it's a different one because my August pick is right here. We'll get to it in a second, but that one doesn't count because I'm not doubling up. My rule is no double ups. So you can't double that one up anyway because it's one of the blurb ones, so it's white and you can't double it up. So I've got another Casey McQuiston I'm going to read, and then I'm either going to read Emily Henry or Farrah Rochon as my third one. I haven't decided who it's going to be or what book it's going to be, but I have some options. So then we have the garage sale books, and I have been looking for garage sales around my house every weekend, and I just have not seen any. So I don't know how I'm going to do that one. I know we do have garage sales, so it's not like I need to do one of the other options. I just need to be better about getting up early on Saturdays and going looking. Then I have 5 AuthorTuber books. So these are books that are written by people who have YouTube channels. So you can see out to the side right here, it says Tower of Dogs. That book was written by Hala, and she has a channel. So I follow her channel, and I got her book from there. So there's 4 more that I still need to go and get, and it doesn't matter. There's a lot of options. I'm really thinking, because I watch Elliot For some reason, I cannot think of her last name right now, but I watch her channel, and Elliot Brooks, that's her name. So I know that she's written some books, and her channel is not about promoting her books. They're really more about discussing fantasy books in general, but I want to try one of her books. And so I was thinking about doing that. And then also there is Sarah Cannon that I have watched her for years about planning and notebook stuff and organizational stuff. And I know she's written books and I've never read those books. So I might do one of her books as well. But maybe the point of their channel has to be that they talk about their books. I need to go back and look at the rules on that one before I commit. But I know Tower of Dogs works for this, for Hala's channel. Then we have a book series with at least 4 books in it. And the one I want to read has 7 books in it. And I did read the first book earlier this month in that series. So I just need to finish the other 6. Then we have 5 books from 5 small booktubers. So what I did was I messaged 5 small booktubers and said, hey, can y'all recommend a book for me, please? And so I'm actually going to do a video where each of them recommends a book for me, and then I read that book. And I talk about what I thought about the book and which of my booktuber friends got the highest points in their choosing. Like, which book did I like the most is what I'm trying to say. Then I have 5 books in other countries, or the author is from the other country that's not US, UK, or Canada. I haven't done any of those yet, although I am about to start reading a book that's set in South America, so I should be able to count that for one of those. Then for the LGBTQ literal letters, I've done L and G, so I still have 4 more left, although someone recommended Heart Song by TJ Klune as having ace representation, so I put that on here so that I would see that there and remember to do it. Oh, apparently there's another one that I didn't change the background on. I just saw some words out there. I was like, what? Apparently it's called Cattywampus. Somebody shared about over there on the thing. So there we go. Now I have 2 different. For the last 2, I have some suggestions. And then these 3 in the middle, I think will be pretty easy to find. I just have to get some. Then the 5 lowest rated books. So that's according to my Goodreads. I've actually already gone and pulled those books up. There are not any books that I even remember putting on my list. So I'm sure I'm also going to do a video where I read the 5 lowest rated books on my TBR and see what I think about them. And maybe I rank them and see if my ranking is different than what their Goodreads rating is. Then I have a direct from indie author, which is what QWERTY's book is. It's called HISFACAC. It's the Humane Society for Creatures and Cryptids. And this is so good. I've got to finish it, but it is so good. I've got to read it more. And then I have a local author bookstore purchase, and I have Sympathy for the Devil, which is right here. I got this from my local bookstore in the little area that says local author. So there it is. I just have to read it and then I can mark it off. And then we have my name. And as you can see, there's a lot of stuff that I have filled in for my name. So I only have left a Y, A, O, and I. The rest of my whole name is done. So Y, A, O, I. Those are the 4 letters that are left. And then my name will be done. And I did my first name, my middle name, my maiden name, and my new last name. I just decided to do every name. I almost put in, because when I was little, my parents actually called me with 3 middle names. Like they kind of said it all together kind of fast. So I almost put all of those names in there, and I was like, that is a little too much. But honestly, that's the easiest one to do, because you can use the title of the book, the first, middle, or last name of the author. Django would like to get up here. Okay, then we have 5 SPIFBO non-finalists. So SPIFBO is the self-published fantasy blog off. And this was started by Mark Lawrence, who is an author. And he has self-published only, like a competition where you can enter your fantasy book into this competition. And I have to read 5 of the non-finalists through any of the years. It doesn't have to be this year. It doesn't have to be the most recent. It can be any year of the self-published fantasy blog off, Spiffbo, that I can read any of them. I don't have any picked out. So if you guys have a recommendation, feel free to leave it down below and I will add it on my list because I don't have any on there. Then I have a completed webcomic, and that means that I need to find a webcomic that is already finished and read the whole thing. So I actually have quite a few ideas for these things that people have suggested, that you guys gave me suggestions about, and I have a guy that I work with that is obsessed with webcomics, so he's always telling me about webcomics, so that's a possibility as well. Then we have new release, read in the month it was released. So because that is a purple, I can double up, read that one and read the blurb, count it as a blurb also. But because I'm not doubling up, I'm not doing that. So I'm reading The Pairing by Casey McQuiston for August. And I have already pre-ordered my September book, but I'm not going to tell you till I update my thing, and then I'll tell you what it is. I'll tell you that it's written by TJ Klune, so you can probably figure it out from there. That's what my September release is going to be. I did fine in July getting it and reading it. It's the middle of August, and I already have my Casey McQuiston book, so I shouldn't have a problem finishing that before the month is out. Then I have a top 10 book in the year you were born. So y'all can see this says The Thornbirds. I am currently reading this right now. I am maybe halfway through. Yeah, I am 46% of the way through. And I will say that I don't love it. It is very, very long. I have read 12 hours already and I have 14 hours to go. So it is a very long book. So I'm going to finish it so that I can say, okay, I did this one, but that is literally the only reason that I'm reading this book. I wish that I had not read The Shining because The Shining came out in 1977, so I could have read it. But instead, I'm reading The Thornbirds. The Thornbirds will at least make my map look better because it is set in Australia. I can't count it as a non-US, UK, Canada book because it's white and I'm not doubling up, but I will be able to put where it's set on my map, and I'll actually have another country outside of the US and the UK right now. Okay, then I have 3 books in 24 hours. I have not done this one. I've just kind of been waiting. I don't really know what I'm waiting on. So maybe I will just do another video where I read 3 books in 24 hours. One of them has to be at least 300 pages. The others can be graphic novels, kids' books, like it doesn't matter, but I'll see. Maybe I'll put a bunch of books on a wheel that I kind of want to do, and I'll just spin one, read it, spin another, read it, and spin the third one. We'll just see what I get in 24 hours. Then we have a recipe in a book. I did read the book. I have not made the recipe, although I took a picture of it on my phone because it was a library book. I had to take the book back, but I took a picture of the recipe on my phone. So I will be making the recipe. Maybe I can do that in one of those other videos. I'd be like, here's my recipe that I had to make. And, but I will share it with you guys when I make it. It's some kind of sour cream biscuits or something. I don't know. Then for the genre challenge, there are 8 different genres listed here. Literary is the only one that I have not read one in yet. So I don't know what I'm going to do for literary because literary is like my least favorite genre to read in. Maybe I could read a Stephen Graham Jones and say that it's literary horror because it is, but it's still more horror than it is literary. Anyway, I don't know. I don't know what I'm going to do. Then I have a book that I helped crowdfund, and the only one of Brandon Sanderson's secret projects that I have not read yet is The Sunlit Man, but I did help that by being a backer along with a million other people. But The Sunlit Man is the only one that I have not read yet, so that's on the list for this one. Then we have the Rainbow Challenge. Red, orange, yellow, green, pink, white, black, and brown are still left, so we will see if I can fit those in for any of the books that didn't find a place to fit yet, because they might go in a color. Then I have to read a classic and its adaptation, and I have gotten quite a few recommendations from you guys, so I am going to be choosing one of those and reading the classic and the adaptation. Then the three protagonists, I finished all of those. And that brings me, and the book for every summer, which I have summer, autumn, winter, and spring ready to go for the summer, fall, winter, and spring. I love it. The names of my books are literally the names of the seasons. So out of 149 prompts, I have done 44 of them, bringing my total to 29.5% of the whole challenge. Now, you probably noticed down here where it says didn't fit. So these are all books that I read for the first time, 7 of them that I read for the first time that I could not find a place to put them. Now, they would have fit up here in the ABC challenge, but I was trying to hold out for that series, that one specific series. But I think I might not do that. I think I might just go ahead and stick these in there wherever they'll go at this point, and just get those off of my didn't fit list and put them wherever they would go. So these are books that I have read that did not count for anything. So that's it, though. Only 7 books out of everything that I read in July and August that for the first time. There were a few rereads in there that I can't count anyway, because this whole challenge is books you've read for the first time. So there were a few that were rereads, but for the most part, I was able to fit everything in there that I've read except for these 7 books right here. So if you guys see a place where these might work outside of the ABCs, then please feel free to tell me about it. Otherwise, I'll probably just use them in the ABCs, or maybe I'll see if they fit any of the rainbow colors, because I never look at the rainbow things to see what goes where, unless it just stands out at me. Like the Lost Apothecary is like completely purple and beautiful on the front. And so I was like, oh, let me put that in there. But some of the rest of these, I don't think about them fitting in on anything, but I need to look. Like I think Soul Eater, it's half white and half black, I think. I need to look at the cover of it again, but I might be able to use it for one of the colors. So anyway, that is it. That is everything I've done. 29.5% of the challenge completed after a month and a half, almost 2 months, but most of that is my name, and that has been pretty easy to do. So expect maybe a big jump next time as I start working on the alphabet as well, but then I think it's going to slow way down as I do the things that have to be done and can't just fit any book, because right now I can just read whatever I want to read, and it almost always will fit somewhere in the alphabet or somewhere in my name or somewhere in the genre thing. Like those are the easy ones to fill up. The harder ones are coming. So if you made it this far, leave me what? Oh, I know. Leave me a bird emoji, because the thorn birds are killing me. Also, I hate birds, so I think it'd be great if they're all over my comment section. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.